Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are bringing you a battle between the top two teams of the Pacific League. It'll be the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks against the Orix Buffaloes. Buffaloes have played surprisingly well and find themselves perched atop the number one position in the Pacific League, while the Hawks, who started off quickly, have slid a little back since then. And now we are about ready to go. Our friend Cutter Butter says, let's go. Who you got tonight? Money line wise. I normally would like Tajima in this one here, but I have to say I'm probably leaning toward Ozeki tonight for Fukuoka. It's a pretty good crowd here by standards of the Buffaloes, as they don't typically normally draw well during the week. So the holiday in midweek here, giving them an opportunity to get a big crowd in attendance. We'll see how this one plays out for them tonight. We're going to give you the starting lineups. First of all, for the visitors from Fukuoka, leading off tonight and in doing the designated hitting is number 9, Yuki Yanagita. Hitting second in center field is number 23, Yukio Shudo. Batting third at third base is number 24, Ryoya Kurihara. And the cleanup spot in left field is number 3, Kensuke Kondo. Batting fifth at second base is number 8, Taisi Makihara. Hitting sixth at shortstop is number 6, Kenta Imamiya. Batting seventh at first base is number 5, Hotake Yamakawa. Hitting eighth in right field is number 32, and that is Tetsuro Yanagamachi. And batting ninth, doing the catching, is number 62, Takashi Umino. And they're going to be facing Daiki Tajima, who has only worked 6 innings this year, allowing 9 hits, 6 runs, all been earned, walking none and striking out 3, pitching to a ERA of 9. He appeared in 1 inning back on March 29th. And then it has been the start that he had a 5-inning start on the 21st of April. Have been his 2 appearances this year for Tajima. Well, he has completed his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway as the Hawks and the Buffaloes will battle. It is a full slate of games across the NPB, and we will keep you up to date on this one here. 5 games currently going on. The late start will be at the Tokyo Dome between the Carp and the Giants. Well, here we go as Yuki Yanagita steps to the plate. The Buffaloes wearing their home whites with the gold and navy trim, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on and chopped foul over on the first base side. Count quickly 0-1 to Yanagita. Yanagita hitting .274 on the season with 3 homers and 13 RBIs. He has been drinking from the fountain of youth this year, as this has been suggested it may be his final year. There's a fastball swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side. The count now goes to 0-2 on Yanagita. So no balls, 2 strikes. Try to get into a bit of a rhythm with the Japanese games throughout the year here. And as the 0-2 is on its way, there's a fastball missing down and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Not going to do any late night games this week, although there are some Wednesday games. We're going to try to sprinkle in some MLB games in as well. As the lefty Tajima rocks himself into the windup and delivers. Fastball just below the knees, taken for ball 2, and the count now even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tajima working quickly, getting the sign from Wakatsuki, delivers a breaking ball that misses down in the dirt. And now the count has run full to Yanagita. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty getting ready to work. We got the start time for this game up a little bit later than we anticipated. There's a breaking ball swung on and chopped foul over on the third base side. The count remains full to Yanagita. Hoping to try to get on the stream a little bit earlier, as we'll have to give you the lineups for the home team in just a few. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Yanagita is in the books for out number 1. So a 7-pitch at bat. He has gone for out 1, and that's going to be the center fielder Yukio Shudo to come to bat. Well, for Shudo, he's hitting .262 on the year. He's got a homer and 6 RBIs. And the first pitch on the way is a slow breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes as the pitch is on the way. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Shudo. Shudo has been playing well lately. He's raised his average up to 262. He got off to a bit of a slow start. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. Now the count goes to 1-2 on Shudo. There's another fastball swung on, and this one is lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side, and the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. There's another fastball delivered, and that one just misses down, and count now goes to 2-2 on Shudo. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tajima working quickly. Delivers again. Fastball swung on, lifted down the left field line, and it's going to slice just into the wall by that temporary seating. And we'll continue the 2-2 count here to Shudo. For those of you who are looking for where they can watch this, which is typically where we're asked, it'll be at 10:06 Pacific time, or at least on our feed. It'll be at the 7-minute and 13-second mark. As Tajima delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field, and this ball is going to slice down for a base hit. As that gets in front of the left fielder, Nishikawa. So Shudo aboard with a 1-out single. Now is going to bring Ryoya Kurihara to the plate. So we started to tell you where you can find this game at if you're looking to stroll. KBC TV or J Sport 3 in Japan. Online, you're looking at DAZN, Rakuten TV, or Baseball Live. Those would be the places where you can find the ball game. But make sure you got a VPN, and make sure you get your wallet out. So this brings Kurihara to the plate. He's hitting .278 on the air, 5 homers and 12 RBIs, batting from the left side here against Tajima, who kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, from left to right field, it's Nishikawa in left, Watanabe in center, and the right fielder is Nakagawa. Around the horn from first to third, Seymour's at first, Oda's at second, the shortstop is Kobayashi, and at third is Mune. The battery of Tajima and Wakatsuki. Fastball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded on the run by the shortstop. Kobayashi steps on the bag, and he leaps in the air and fires to first. It's going to be a double play. It's going to go in the book 6-3, and that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. We are through a half inning. Your score is the Hawks 0, and the Buffaloes coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is the lineups that we'll have to give you for the Buffaloes, as we didn't get that through that in the top of the stream. It'll be leading off tonight, the third baseman, Yuma Mune. He'll wear number 6. Batting second, the center fielder is Haruto Watanabe. He wears number 0. Batting third and left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. And the cleanup spot is number 1, Ryo Oda. He'll play second base. Batting fifth is the designated hitter. That's number 4, Tomoya Mori. Hitting sixth and right field is number 67, Kai Nakagawa. Hitting seventh at first base is number 45, Bob Seymour. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting ninth at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. And they are facing Tomohisa Ozeki, who takes to the hill for the Hawks in this one. Ozeki on the season, he's 1-2. He's worked 24 innings. He's allowed 28 hits, 12 runs, 11 have been earned, walking 7 and striking out 14, pitching to a 4.13 ERA. He's completed his tune-up tosses, and we're ready to resume the action. as the lefty will face Yuma Mune here for the first time this evening. Mune stepping in. He is hitting .262 on the year. He's got 4 homers and 10 runs driven in. He is off to a pretty solid start. A little surprised that they put him in the leadoff spot, maybe not Watanabe, as the lefty delivers first pitch fastball taken at the knees for a called strike and count is 0-1. Watanabe has speed to burn. Not that Mune doesn't, he just doesn't run as well as a couple of the others on this Buffalo lineup. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. That stood Mune up a little bit. I'm not sure he liked that call from the home plate umpire. Friend Samurai Prayer in the house tonight. I would have thought you might have been over at the game, or at least one of the games, but we're glad you can make it in. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Ozeki slowly rocks and delivers. Slow breaking ball swung on it. It's hammered foul just down the right field line. Count remains at 0-2 to Mune. So no balls, 2 strikes. Some early afternoon action from Japan as Ozeki ready to deliver again, getting his sides. He does not necessarily work the quickest. Lefty rocks and delivers. Fastball down. Good stop there by the catcher, Ameno. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Mune. We were talking a little bit about the surprise of the Buffaloes to be in the top spot. And not to mention that the Buffaloes in the top spot, but maybe the poor play of the Fighters so far this year has been the most intriguing factor in the Pacific League, as that breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Ozeki rocking himself into the windup, and he kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball missing up. They're going to peel over to third base, and they say that Mune went around, and he's going to be retired. The check swing, he wasn't able to hold it up. The third base umpire goes up at the right hand, and Mune is in the books for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the center fielder in Haruto Watanabe. As we get a look on the replay on that one, it's hard to argue as Mune did go around. So this brings Watanabe to the plate. Batting from the left side here against the lefty. The pitch is on the way. It's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Watanabe hitting .395, 3 homers and 6 RBIs in the early going here, but he does have 7 stolen bases as the lefty delivers. Slow breaking ball taken for a called strike. And now the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So back-to-back left-handed hitters in the lineup here. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined to the left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Watanabe's hot hitting continues as he's aboard with a 1-out single. That's going to bring up Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. And by all accounts, another lefty here to face Ozeki in the first inning. That's the one thing I like about the Japanese league is they are not concerned one iota about the lefty-lefty matchups. Unlike in Major League Baseball, where they've just gone to such an extreme, where they've got players that are platooning. We got literally big league guys getting top drawer money, and you're platooning them out for somebody else making half the amount of money. I don't get it. I don't get it. So as they flip over to first base, easily getting back is Watanabe. They got to keep an eye on him over there. He does like to run. There's a fastball swung on. It's hammered into right field. It's getting down for a base hit. That's going to get Watanabe all the way around to third and maybe more. Here comes the throw in. It's cut off by the second baseman, Makihara. He's going to run it into the infield. And Watanabe makes his way all the way over to third base on the Ryoma Nishikawa extra base hit. So Nishikawa does a good job of staying inside the ball, hammering it the other way. Interesting, they've got 3 parts in the order here that are pretty strong for the Buffaloes. And I say that Watanabe, Nishikawa, now Ryo Oda coming to the plate, who's hitting .292 in the early going with a couple of homers and 17 RBIs. He's got a chance to pad his stats. Got 2 runners in scoring position. 26 for 89 on the year is Oda. As the lefty works to the set and now delivers. Fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Our friend Jam Band's in the house. He says, did it look like he went around? Yeah, it sure did look like he went around. Yeah, that was a tough pitch, too, because the pitch was up in the zone, and it looked like he was trying to turn his head out of the way, up and in. Unfortunately, that was the case. As that pitch misses down to Oda, the count goes to 1-1. Wasn't able to sell it any other way. So here comes the 1-1 offering as the lefty works himself into the set. Fastball swung on line right to the glove of the second baseman, and everybody had to freeze. Oda hit the ball right on the screws, but right to the glove of the shortstop, Kenta Imamiya, for the second out of the inning, and it's going to leave it all up to Tomoya Mori. Well, thinking of aggressive swingers, Mori is one who likes to swing at the first pitch. So keep your heads up here. Jim asked tonight if I put money on this game. Nope, not on this one. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we put our stuff out, but no, haven't done it. And if I was doing it tonight, I was probably leaning toward the Hawks. As I said, I don't know if I like Tajima's start to the year and where he's at. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded on the first pitch over to the first baseman, Yamakawa. He's going to field it, step on the bag, and that's going to do it for the Buffaloes. A ground out to 3 to end the inning. Well, they threatened, but they don't score. There were no runs in the inning. There were 2 hits, no errors, and there were 2 runners left stranded aboard. Your scores were now through 1 complete. It is the Hawks nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. Your score as we go to the top of the second inning, we are locked at 0s. We'll be back in just a few with the Buffaloes and the Hawks right after this timeout from our good friend, Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the heart of the order to come to bat for the Hawks in inning number 2. That means Kensuke Kondo, Taisi Makihara, and Kenta Imamiya. Our friend Jam Band says he took the Buffaloes, and they've been playing good ball, so it's hard to turn away a team at home on a holiday playing some good baseball. We'll have to see what they have in store for us here today as the first pitch is on the way. It's a fastball taken at the knees for called strike. Count is 0-1 to Kensuke Kondo. The 32-year-old Kondo batting .302 on the year, 6 homers and 19 runs driven in. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it's a fastball missing down and away, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Tajima working quickly, delivers. There's a fastball swung on its tap foul over on the First base side, and the count goes to 1-2. Tajima has a wealth of experience as he has had his opportunities with the pitch in the Japan series for the Buffaloes. There's a fastball that just misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. And what the interesting part is the lefty Hiroya Miyagi gone for the year. Everybody here, or at least he's expected to be gone for the year, that they thought maybe the Buffaloes would fall in the tank. In fact, they played better. Fastball swung on, chopped back to the pitcher, fielded by Tajima as he comes off the mound to the third base side, fields it and fires out Kondo on a ground out 1-3. He's gone for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the second baseman in Taisi Makihara. Well, Makihara stepping to the plate, hitting .273, no homers, and 5 RBIs. As the lefty getting his sign from Wakatsuki, rocking himself slowly into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Makihara hitting .273 on the year, no homers and 5 RBIs, and he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count runs even at 1-1. Makihara on the World Baseball Classic squad for the Japanese, but for Makihara, didn't really have a major impact role. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-1. He was the Pacific League batting champion last year, the best batting average in the Pacific League. As the lefty Tajima delivers, there's a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-2. But he had an absolutely abysmal time in the Japan series and in the playoffs. It took him a while to get going. He was not doing very well at all. I remember at one stretch, I think he was like 0 for 17. As the 2-2 is on the way, fastball swung on, lifted into right center field. This ball is going to get down for a base hit. Watanabe over to field it. He has to jump and get it. And rounding first and throwing on the brakes is the batter runner Makihara. He's got himself a single. He's going to bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. Well, brings Imamiya to the plate. He is batting .283 on the year, homer and 8 RBIs. Isn't quite the everyday player that he was a few years ago, as he's getting a little on in age, as he's been splitting time with Nomura at times. 34 years old. You can play him a bit sparingly. 15 for 53 on the year as he waits on the offering. It's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. I got to tell you, I don't know if I like that call from the home plate umpire. I know with all the video that we have these days, catcher was set up middle away, pitch had come inside. Catcher had to move like crazy to get it, and he still got the call. People will say, well, if across the plate it was a strike, but got to tell you, that pitch sure didn't look like a strike to me, and you can see Imamiya was certainly wondering about it too. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Tajima delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's hammered down the left field line, but it's just going to foul into the corner, and not by much. Imamiya got the barrel head out on that one, as he rings that one foul down the left field line for an 0-2 count. As we said, there's a full slate of games around the NPB tonight. There is already scoring between the Dragons and the Bay Stars. That is 1-1 in the top of the second. 1-0 for the Marines over the Eagles. That's in the top of the second as well. No score between the Lions and Fighters and Swallows and Tigers, as they throw over to first base, and easily getting back in time is the runner Makihara. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Tajima holds to the set. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the lefty Tajima works himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-2. Instead, he throws over to first base. They got the runner picked off, and they're going to be able to nail Makihara. He's going to be picked off, and it's going to go in the books 1-3-6 for the second out of the inning. And it is going to keep the count at 1-2 to Imamiya. So 2 base runners here so far for the Hawks, and one erased in a double play in the first inning, and the other picked off here in inning number 2. Our friend the Chave in the house tonight, he says, go Bay Stars. As the 1-2 pitch on the way from Tajima, a slow breaking ball swung on, popped up in the right side. It's playable for Seymour. He's over in the first base coach's box. He makes the catch. And Imamiya is going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that'll do it here for the Hawks in inning number 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is the Hawks nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a bit with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We got a score line of 0-0 as we move to the bottom of the second. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It's Nakagawa, Seymour, and Wakatsuki to come to bat here as they will be facing the lefty Tomohisa Ozeki for his second inning of work. These ball clubs yet to push a runner across the plate. The Buffaloes had runners at second and third in the first inning, weren't able to do so. The Hawks each had singles in their innings, and both were erased prematurely, one on a double play and one on a pickoff. As the first pitch on its way, it's a fastball missing up and away to Nakagawa, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the lefty ready to deliver, kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball, misses upstairs, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Again, the lefty ready to deliver. It's a fastball that just misses low, and the count 3-0 to Nakagawa. So 3 balls and no strikes. Lefty ready matchup as he rocks himself into the delivery, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike it is. Again, Ozeki rocking and delivering. There's a fastball that just misses outside. It's going to be ball 4, and that's going to be a leadoff walk here for Nakagawa. And that's going to bring the big fella Bob Seymour to the plate. Well, for Seymour, batting .213 in the early going. He's got a couple homers and 10 runs batted in. Our friend God is Great is in the house. We're glad you could make it in. Thanks for popping in tonight. Not sure. I thought next week it was Golden Week. I'm not sure what the preview to Golden Week is. I thought the mountain holiday came a little bit later. So Bob Seymour stepping to the dish. The first pitch on the way. It's a slow breaking ball that comes up and in and almost hits him. Moves him off the plate. The count is 1-0 to Seymour. Seymour batting from the left side. In his first year in the NPB, he was a Tampa Bay Ray last year. One thing I wanted to look up, I wanted to see if he was related to Ian Seymour. They had 2 Seymours the Ray did last year. Ian Seymour was a pitcher. Fastball swung, and this is belted into right center field. Moving back and in front of the track, making the catch is Shudo. And that's going to send Nakagawa back to first. It looked like he got more of it than what he did, but it was maybe off the end of the bat. As we get a look at the replay on that one. Yeah, it looked like he just got it off the end of the bat. Seymour gone for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Kenya Wakatsuki. Our friend God is Great says Golden Week is a holiday for the kids, and they are related. That would be the Seymours, Bob and Ian. Ian, a pitcher. I don't know a whole lot about Ian Seymour. I don't really look out on the Tampa Bay Rays a whole lot. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time is the runner Nakagawa. Easily, safely. So the lefty ready to go again as he kicks and fires. It is a fastball missing down, and the count 1 ball and no strikes to Kenya Wakatsuki. Again, the lefty leaning in, getting a sign from his catcher as he's working himself to the belt. At the 1-0 on the way, it's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Again, Ozeki getting the sign as he works himself to the belt. And the pitch on the way. Fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count now 1-2 on Wakatsuki. Looking at the scores from yesterday, the NPB, there was obviously a slate of games. One of the things that we were interested in is the finals from around the NPB, of course. That breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The Hawks beat the Buffaloes 7-1 yesterday in the opening game of this series. Marines had beaten the Eagles, and the Fighters came from behind with a couple late to beat the Lions 2-1 at the Balloonodome. We were trying to actually call that game last night and wasn't able to get back in time. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Surprisingly, the Swallows continue their hot start to the season. They are tops in the Central League. And for as good a start as they've had, the Hanshin Tigers are right on their tail, 1 game behind. As again, they throw to first, and again, getting back easily is Nakagawa. Pacific League, we thought the Hawks would be a playoff team. At least I did at the beginning of the year, as do I think the Hawks. The big surprise is the Fighters through 27 games are 3 games below 500, 4.5 back. Makes me wonder if the magic from the big boss may be running out in Hokkaido. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled back on the first base side of home plate. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 to Wakatsuki as the catcher for the Buffaloes waits. That's one thing we noticed about Ozeki. When they get runners on base, he really, really slows down. And so too is his form here tonight as that breaking ball misses down. The count goes to 2-2. I will say this, that I didn't like the pitch count originally, or the pitch clock in Major League Baseball originally, but after having been to some games, not just this year and last year, there's a lot to be said for it. Our friend the Chave says, surely Hokkaido will pull things back together. No? I would hope so. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come on its way. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Stopping at second will be the runner Nakagawa. That's going to put runners at first and second. Yeah, I would think that this was the year for the Fighters. I predicted that the Fighters probably would win the. I think we would have to go back and look at our predictions, but I was pretty sure that was a passage of the torch that the Fighters were going to win the league, but maybe not get through to the championship again. But they were going to win the league. And it's hard when you watch some of these teams to be able to compete. The Hawks have been so good for so long. There's such a winning culture that's there. As the lefty holds to the set, here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to third, and it's booted by Kurihara. Everybody's going to be safe. That's going to be E5 as Kobayashi's going to reach safely. All the runners have advanced. And now the Buffaloes have got something brewing as it brings Yumamune to the plate. So bases full of Buffaloes here in the second inning. I wonder what the over-under for the first 5 on this one would have been. I never took a look. I'm sure there'll be people that will chime in with that. Over-under, of course, usually in the NPB, it can be on the low side. For some reason, I think, I don't know exactly. I have to go back and actually calculate it out and take a look. But I would hazard a guess that the runs per game are up a little bit this year based on some of the scores we're seeing in early April. Seeing a lot of games with double-digit scoring. This brings Mune to the plate. The first pitch, breaking ball, is waved out and missed, and the count is 0-1. Where some teams will put up a 10 spot. Like yesterday, as an example, the Carp put, I believe, what was it, 11 on the board yesterday in their victory over the Giants. The Swallows put up 10 on the board against the Tigers. There's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Mune. Mune struck out his first time up in the first inning. A big opportunity here to be able to pound some runs in. I was just looking at the amount of double-digit scoring games across the NPB this season. So far, anyway. As the lefty Ozeki ready to deliver, breaking ball misses down and away. And certainly my quick math is showing me that there would be 9 games that have had a team score at least 10 or more runs. So this is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mune. Runner at third, Nakagawa. Runner at second, Wakatsuki. Runner at first is Kobayashi. As the lefty Ozeki ready to go, and he's ready to do this here. So lefty-lefty matchup. Working himself to the belt. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Ozeki delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule is in effect. Underneath it and making the catch is the shortstop, Imamiya. So another wasted at bat here with runners in scoring position by the Buffaloes here tonight. He's gone for the second out as Mune, and it's going to leave it all up to the center fielder, Haruto Watanabe. So if you pick the Buffaloes tonight in this one, you got to be a little bit frustrated. They stranded runners at second and third in the first. They've got bases loaded here. If Ozeki's able to wiggle himself out of this one, the Buffaloes can only lament the potential opportunities that haven't come to fruition. So this is Watanabe at the plate. He is 1-for-1 tonight. Raised his season average to 409 as the lefty Ozeki kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball down. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they said Watanabe didn't go, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. So 1 ball and no strikes to Watanabe. Good crowd in Osaka today for this one, as the Buffaloes are the home team here against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. As the lefty again works himself to the belt, now delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-0 on Watanabe. So a good spot here. Got to put a good swing on a good pitch. The hottest hitter in the Buffalo lineup is exactly who you'd want to have in this spot. So 2 balls and no strikes. Watanabe, that slightly open stance, waits on Ozeki. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. I think Watanabe wanted to have that one back. Just his reaction there. I think he knew he may have missed his opportunity to put a good swing on that pitch. So 2 balls and 1 strike. As again, the lefty works himself to the belt. And the pitch on the way. Fastball misses down. It's now 3-1. Well, there's nowhere to put him, so he's going to have to get something good here. As the bases are full of Buffaloes, they are ready to stampede all over the Hawks. Play at any base here with the bases full, 3 balls and 1 strike to Watanabe. As again, the lefty works to the set. Here comes the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now runs full. So now everybody's going to be in motion as the center fielder is going to have to get the 3-2 pitch. I don't know about that one. It was a good job by the catcher Umeno to really frame that pitch. It looked like that Watanabe was ready to make his way down to first base, and the right hand of the home plate umpire brought him back. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Runners are going to be in motion as Ozeki nods in agreement with his catcher Umeno. Here comes the 3-2. On its way. Fastball misses up and in. That's ball 4 as it almost hit Watanabe. So he gets himself an RBI on a base on balls. In to score comes Nakagawa, the first run of the ball game. Akatsuki will advance over to third. Over to second is going to be Kobayashi. As that loads the bases, and that'll bring up Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. We were saying in his first at-bat, Nishikawa has been really swinging the bat well. He's hitting .320 entering tonight's fray. So we'll see if the former Carp can keep the conga line moving here for the Buffaloes. There's a conference on the mound as Ozeki got a fuel check there from his pitching coach. We're going to resume the action. So bases are full of Buffaloes. 1 run on the board. They're threatening for more here in the bottom of the second inning. So Nishikawa stepping in with that double earlier. He's now got his average up to .327, the homer and 12 RBIs. As he kicks and delivers, it is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nishikawa. Jamban says, are we in the bottom of the second? We are. Buffaloes have just opened up the scoring 1-0. And they are threatening for more. Bases loaded, 2 gone here. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. As the lefty holds set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you, a couple of the pitches have been a little bit on the low side that they've been getting the calls, but not sure that any of the batters at the moment here are in full agreement with the home plate umpire. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty again works himself to the set. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball missing just outside. And the count is 1-2. Ozeki trying to dig himself out of this jam that he's put himself into. One ball and 2 strikes it is. Again, the lefty ready to go. Here comes the pitch. Kicks and delivers. Slow breaking ball swung on, and it's lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nishikawa as he waggles the bat. As the lefty ready to go again. And again, Ozeki holding to the set. Kicks and fires. Fastball just misses out off the outside corner. Count goes to 2-2. Boy, I think if he threw that pitch in the same location again, I'm not sure I'd be confident the home plate umpire wouldn't go up with the right hand. Buffaloes get a chance here to blow this game apart early in the first couple innings. Sure haven't taken full advantage of it yet. Here comes the 2-2 as Ozeki again leans in. 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. Nishikawa's down on strikes. He's out for out number 3, and that's going to do it here for the Buffaloes in inning number 2. They got 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. There was an error, and there were 3 runners left aboard. Your scores were through 2 complete. It is the Buffaloes with a 1-0 lead over the Hawks. Stick around, everybody. Top of the 3rd inning is just around the corner, and so are we right after this timeout.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat here for the Hawks in their half of the 3rd inning. It'll be Yamakawa, Yanagamachi, and Umeno to face the left-hander Daiki Tajima, who has been spotted a 1-0 lead. The tale of the game tonight so far, well, the Buffaloes may look back and lament their chances. They have left 5 runners on base, even though they've been able to push 1 run across. 5 runners so far have been stranded as the lefty Tajima rocks himself into the windup and delivers. First pitch fastball swung on, grounded over to the left side, fielded by Mune. He throws to first. It's a ground out 5-3 to get Yamakawa for out number 1. It's going to bring up the right fielder in Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Only 30 pitches in the first 2 innings for Tajima. He has been smooth so far as the Yamakawa comes back to the dugout looking at his bat. They have fractured one on the hands a little bit. This brings Yanagamachi to the plate. Yanagamachi started the season strong, but he has fallen off. He's hitting .216, no homers and 11 RBIs as he takes a fastball at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and a strike. And Gabachi batting from the left side here against the left-handed throwing Tajima, who delivers a fastball that just misses outside. The count goes even to 1-1. Tajima rocking slowly into the delivery. He kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field, moving over to his right. And there to make the catch is Nakagawa. Looked like he may have lost it in the lights, his reaction, as he is going to make the catch to retire Yanagabachi for out number 2. And is going to leave it all up to the catcher and Takashi Umeno. Well, for Umeno, he started the season off certainly with a hot stretch there against the Fighters to open in the opening series, and he's tailed off ever since. I was saying at the beginning of the year that the catching position offensively has not really given them a whole lot after the loss of Takuya Kai. Certainly Umeno picking up the slack in playing time last year as he takes a breaking ball outside for ball. He's batting 193 with a homer and 6 RBIs. As Tajima kicks and delivers, there's a fastball missing outside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. As the lefty again delivers, there's a fastball that misses outside, and the count goes to 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Tajima slowly rocking himself into the windup. He kicks and delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. You'd hate to lose the 9-hole hitter who's hitting below the Mendoza line. It'd drive you crazy as a manager. Guy who can't hit, let him swing the bat. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third softly. Mune fields it, side slings it to first. Mano's in the books on a ground out, 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the third. They go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the third inning. It is the Buffaloes with a 1-0 lead, and we'll be back to bring it to you in just a few after this musical timeout. Appreciate you for hanging in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. The Buffaloes will send the 4, 5, and 6 hitters to the plate. That's the heart of the batting order, as it'll be Oda, Mori, and Nakagawa to come to face the lefty Ozeki, who will be back on for his third inning of work. Just looking at the 2 pitchers, Tajima to this point, only 39 pitches through the 3 innings. His counterpart, Ozeki, we'll get you that update in a moment, but he is a lot more than that. That is for certain. We just had that extra little bit of delay because the catcher was the last out of the last half inning. And it had taken a moment or 2 extra to be able to get the gear on to come back out. So this brings Oda to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He lined to the shortstop his first time up. He's batting .289 on the year with a couple of homers and 17 RBIs. The second baseman ready to face Ozeki here, who rocks and delivers. And the pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty again rocks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count is 1-1 strike. Again, the lefty Ozeki rocks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. 45 pitches in the 2 innings for Ozeki. So at this rate here, I would be hard-pressed to see him much past the 5th inning. As the lefty delivers, there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into deep right center field. This ball is going to get trouble. It's going to get down, and it gets all the way to the wall. Oda rounding first, heading to second. The throw coming in, and he's going to cruise into second base, standing. As Oda has got himself a leadoff double here for the Buffaloes. So they continue to swing the bat well. Our friend Tom in the house tonight, he says, do you think the under 6.5 in this game is a good play? I would say, based on what I'm seeing right now, no. But the other thing is that the Buffaloes in the first 2 innings stranding 5 runners aboard. And the Hawks unable to cash anything in here at this point. You got to wonder at some point, is the pitching going to settle down? And they all of a sudden become tough. I would say probably the under is not a good thing, the way the Buffaloes have been swinging the bat. They just haven't been able to drive anybody in a crucial situation. There's a bunt by Maury, and it's popped up behind home plate. And it is going to land foul. But, boy, that was not a good opportunity. I didn't expect Maury to be squaring around a bunt here. Anything swinging away at the first pitch is his mantra. It was not a very good opportunity to bunt. He squared around and he lost control of the barrel. Next thing you know, the ball was popped up. So no balls and 1 strike. As the lefty Ozeki works himself into the set position. Here's the 0-1. Fastball swung on, ground to the right side, productive at bat. Fielded by Makihara. He throws to first. Advancing to third is Oda. So Maury does his job with a ground out 4-3. He's out for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate. So another runner in scoring position here, with an opportunity to be able to punch another run across the board. Nakagawa walked his first time up, and he has scored the only run for the Buffaloes. He gets the start in right field tonight. Nakagawa has, over the last few years, we've seen him in center, seen him in right, we've seen him at first base. They have the infield into the Hawks, so they're going to try to cut the run off at the plate. Interestingly enough, the outfield is rather deep. As the lefty delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Nakagawa. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty leaning in, getting his sign as he works himself to the belt. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, hammered down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul right to the end of the temporary seating, and that's going to run the count to 0-2 on Nakagawa. So no balls and 2 strikes. Already 53 pitches delivered by the lefty of the Hawks. Again, Ozeki works to the set. Here comes the 0-2. On the way, fastball misses upstairs. Count goes to 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes to Nakagawa. Interesting here to see if Hawks can get some clutch hitting. Punch some runs across. If they can do that, curious also to see what kind of bullpen the Hawks will start to roll out. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 2-2 to Nakagawa. I have to go back a little bit to last night's ball game. as I was saying before, the ball game yesterday between these two clubs, it was a 7-1 victory for the Hawks. And I always like to take a look at the pitching to see exactly who uses what and what is used. So they used Samori, Kimura, Hernandez after they had started Matsumoto. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded foul past the bag at third base, and the count remains at 2-2 to Nakagawa. What they call the three-headed monster at one time, with Matsumoto out of the pen, as well as Osuna and Sugiyama, the closer. Well, he's going to be out for a while because I guess he had punched a wall or something and ended up hurting himself out of frustration. Here's the 2-2. Fastball lifted into the stands down the right field line, and the count remains at 2-2. Maybe try punching something a little softer next time. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Nakagawa taps in. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those games. I've always said, like on weekend games and on holiday games, it just seems like the games go longer. I wonder if that's because they can get more TV revenue. It just feels that way. I don't know if it's always the case. Fastball swung on, lined over the head of the first baseman into right field. That's going to get another run in. And to score comes Oda, the second run of the game for the Buffaloes. An RBI single off the bat of Nakagawa is almost an excuse me hit. Just stuck the bat out, was able to get solid wood to it, lined it over the first baseman, Yamakawa, into right field. The Buffaloes now have a 2-0 lead. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Bob Seymour. If you want to endear yourself to the Japanese fans, it's time for Seymour to do some damage with the bat here. Seymour 0 for 1 tonight. He flew to center field his first time up. He said he probably just got it off the end of the bat. Bats from the left side here as Ozeki throws over to first, and diving back is Nakagawa. So Seymour stepping in. Big fella here with that open stance, waiting on the pitch from Ozeki as it comes. Slow breaking ball drops in for a called strike. Count 0-1 to Seymour. 2-0 Buffaloes here in the bottom of the third inning as they just cashed in an RBI single from Nakagawa to drive in Oda. As the Hawks brass looks on, here comes the 0-1. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, the lefty ready to go as he works himself into the set. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. And that's going to retire Seymour for the second out of the inning. He's in the books, and it's going to leave it up to Kenya Wakatsuki. So Wakatsuki striding to the plate. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He had a single his first time up. He was left stranded at third in the second inning. As the first pitch on the way is a fastball missing down and in, and the count is 1-0. So ball and no strikes. So 1 ball and no strikes it is, as the lefty again ready to go. Here comes the pitch. Instead, he flips it over to first, and diving back in time is the base runner. So 1 ball and no strikes it is. Pitch again on the way. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Angel Hernandez in the house. He says, new sub, what's up, guys? Appreciate you there, Angel. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count's 1-2. Had a buddy of mine who was on the crew with Angel Hernandez in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. And he said that Angel was one of the best guys. He says, got the under 7. Do you think it has a chance? Well, earlier somebody asked about the under 6.5, and as far as I was concerned, that's a bit dicey as well. There's a ball in the dirt. There goes the runner down to second, and they're going to gun down the runner. Boy, I think I might want to have a look at that one, but maybe the Buffaloes aren't, as Nakagawa is going to be caught stealing. It's going to go in the books at 2-6. He's gone for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes in inning number 3. Well, they got a run in the inning on a pair of hits. There was no errors, and now nobody left the board. Your score, as we move now to the top of the 4th inning, it is the Buffaloes with a 2-0 lead. Stick around, everybody. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the 4th inning. It is going to be the top of the order in Yuki Yanagita, Yukio Shudo, and Ryoya Kurihara to come to bat. And so that will be the left-hander Tajima ready to deliver again. He says, the question Angel says, are you located in Japan? No, we're not. As the first pitch coming from Tajima as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Yanagita. Yanagita struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1 tonight. So far, Tajima has faced the minimum in the first 3 innings. As the lefty delivers a breaking ball down, they appeal over to the third base umpire, and up goes the right hand. As he says that Yanagita has gone around, the count is 0-2. Looks like the third base umpire is in a rush to get out of here tonight. It's the second time he has gone up with the right hand. There's a fastball that misses way outside. The count goes to 1-2 on Yanagita. 39 pitches in the 3 innings for Tajima, as he has got a very effective pitch count thus far. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line. Giving chase is Mune, but that ball is going to reach the temporary seating and bounce into the netting. The count is going to remain at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the lefty Tajima kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on his grounded foul just past the bag at first base, and the count is 1-2 on Yanagita. Again, the lefty waiting in as Yanagita waggles the bat and kicks and fires. There's a fastball that just misses outside. The count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Tajima working quickly. There's a fastball missing down, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. Oh, Yanagita thought it was ball 4. He was starting to make his way to first base. And the right hand of the home plate umpire is going to bring him back as he is gone. That pitch there, I got to tell you, it looked like it might have been up in the zone. It was a good job of receiving there by the catcher of the Buffaloes, Wakatsuki. So as he's going to return back to the dugout for the first out of the inning, he'll bring up Yukio Shudo. Friend Samurai Prayer says he's living in Osaka, Japan. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 1-0. Osaka, Japan, a big place. I think I'd mentioned before when I stayed, it was in Shinsaibashi, if I said that correctly. 0-1 on the way. It is a breaking ball that misses down. The count goes even to 1-1. Pretty sure it was Shinsaibashi. I got to double check that. That was actually the second time I stayed there. The first time I stayed outside of Osaka, I was in a place called Tsukamoto. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty getting his signs from his catcher as he's ready to go back to work. Slowly rocks himself into the motion and he delivers. Fastball just misses, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And again, Tajima ready to go back to work. As he slowly works himself into the windup. Pitches a breaking ball that just misses inside. And the count now is full. There's a fastball delivered by Tajima, and that one is swung on and lifted foul into the seats. And the count 3-2, it remains to Yukio Shudo. As Tajima again kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that is swung on, and that one's line foul down the left field line, and we're going to continue this battle at 3-2. I was commenting on where I had stayed before. There was a fastball again swung on, and another one lined into the netting, and so this is now starting to turn into quite the battle as 8 pitches already seen by Shudo in this at bat. Again, rocking into the motion is Tajima. Kicks and fires. There's a fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike. Well, Shudo knew that one as he started walking out of the box and back to the dugout as he is down for out number 2. So back-to-back called strikeouts looking here to start the 4th inning. That is going to bring up Ryoya Kurihara to the plate. And by our counts, that is now 3 strikeouts recorded by Tajima in this one. I was saying before when I was in Osaka, as the pitch is a breaking ball that misses down and the count is 1-0. It was Shinsaibashi where I had stayed. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field, giving chase on the warning track and making the catch as he slams into the wall is Watanabe, and that is going to do it. Kurihara sent the ball for a ride. And slamming into the wall to make the catch is the center fielder Watanabe, and that is going to do it here for the 3rd out of the inning. They go in order again to the Hawks. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. What a sensational catch by the diminutive center fielder. And that'll do it here in inning number 4 for Fukuoka. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Your score as we move to the bottom half of the 4th. It is 2-0 for the Buffaloes. Stay with us. We'll be back after this. We got a score line at 2-0 as we move to the bottom of the fourth. Stay with us, everybody. Our friend Steve will keep you entertained. We'll be right back in just a bit.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat as Kenya Wakatsuki was batting when the runner was thrown out at second base. So Wakatsuki at the plate takes a breaking ball down and in for ball 1, 1-0. Kobayashi and Mune to follow here. 65 pitches in 3 innings for the starter Ozeki, not the most economical. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that catches the outside corner and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Angel says, let's go under 6.5. Well, as I said before, the way that the Buffaloes have been putting runners aboard, I'd be concerned. The way that they're not cashing him in, that is a good thing for you. As that breaking ball is tapped foul over on the third base side, the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wakatsuki. Again, the lefty delivers. It's a ground ball swung on his chop, just foul down the third base line. The third base umpire up with the hands. And that is going to keep the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Angel says, yeah, they've been hitting, but they haven't been clutch and cashing the runs in. They've got 5 hits entering this inning here, and they've also walked, at least by my counts, a couple of times and reached on an error. So you got runners all over the base paths. You don't have that clutch hit to be able to drive somebody in. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 2-2. Angel says, do we cover any NBA or just Japan baseball? Japan baseball, and we sprinkle in some MLB action from time to time. As the 2-2 on the way, as a fastball swung on it is lined right to the glove of the second baseman, Makihara, and that is going to retire Wakatsuki. He's gone for the first out of the inning. And that is going to bring up the shortstop in Kentaro Kobayashi. Well, for Kobayashi, he has had his struggles so far this year. He's batting 188 entering the game. 3 homers and 8 RBIs as the pitch on the way is a slow breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1. We did a Buffalo game the other night, and it was Seiya Yokoyama who was in at shortstop. We were a little bit surprised by that, as that fastball misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1. So for as poorly as he's played offensively, that's the other part. You would think that Kobayashi would be at least somebody that they would be counting on. But a pretty good year the last couple of years. Fastball taken for a called strike at the knees to give them some production. And here he is batting in the 9 spot in the batting order. Here comes the 1-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and lined down the right field line. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty ready to go. As Ozeki gets the sign, he rocks himself slowly into the windup. He kicks and he fires. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field, giving chase at the edge of the warning track, looking up, and this one is gone. A home run for Kentaro Kobayashi. And that is going to increase the scoreline to 3-0. So our friends who've been asking us if this game is going to be under, nope, I don't think it's going to happen the way that they've been swinging the bats. So an RBI and a home run, obviously driving himself in, is Kobayashi. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Yuma Mune. The problem to this is they've had runners on base and haven't been able to capitalize. And here they get a solo shot, the 4th of the year from Kobayashi. They got to find a way to be able to cash in some runners when they are aboard. So 3-0 lead here for the Buffaloes in the bottom of the 4th inning. As Yuma Mune comes to the plate, Mune has struck out and he has popped to the shortstop. First pitch fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Mune. So no balls and 1 strike. Mune to be followed by Haruto Watanabe here in the 4th inning. Pitch is on the way. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Again, Ozaki rocks into the motion, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 1-2. Again, the lefty kicks and delivers the 1-2 on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. 80 pitches already for the left-hander, 52 for strikes. As he slowly rocks into the windup, he kicks and delivers, breaking ball missing down and away, and the count runs full to Mune. And surprisingly, for as many pitches as he's thrown here in the first 4 innings, this is only the 2nd time he's gone to a full count on any of the hitters. Pitches, a fastball misses up and in. That's going to be ball 4. Mune's aboard with a walk here. That's going to put him aboard. It's going to bring Watanabe to the plate. And it's going to bring the pitching coach on a full sprint out to the mound, as he wants to have a word with his left-hander. I would say that I'd be shocked to see him in the 5th. I think the way that this game is going, I think Ozaki is going to be punching his ticket to leave the mound here at the end of this half inning. So not quite the start that the Hawks were looking for in this one. Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard from around the NPB tonight, as there are 4 other games underway. It is 3-2 for the Marines over the Eagles. Bottom of the 4th inning. Lions enjoying 1-0 lead over the Fighters. That's in the bottom of the 5th. Dragons and the Bay Stars locked at 2. That's in the top of the 5th. And the Tigers have a 1-0 lead over the Swallows. That's in the top of the 6th. That is your out-of-town scoreboard for this one here. So the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Watanabe has a single, a walk, and he's driven in a run tonight in his 2 trips. The hot-hitting center fielder of the Buffaloes, batting .407 now. As the lefty Ozaki ready to go again. Kicks and fires, breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And certainly, I'm not even sure what I know the over-under guys were popping in saying 6.5 for the game. I don't know if that was updated live or what the start was. I wonder what the first 5 was. I would think that the first 5 could have been 3 or 3.5 or 2.5 or 3.5. I would think that has probably been crushed by now anyway. Certainly, if they could get another run across, I would think that would have been the case in the first 5. As they flip over to first base and getting back easily is Mune. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. On its way, breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes it is to the left-handed hitting Watanabe. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. Again, establishing his lead over at first. He's got 1 foot on the turf and 1 foot on the dirt. As the lefty Ozeki ready to deliver. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded softly to short. They go to second for one. Back to first, not in time. Not going to be able to get the speedy Watanabe. It's going to go a fielder's choice. It's going to go 6-4 in the books. That retires Mune for the second out of the inning. Safe on the trail side, Watanabe, and that will bring Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. Well, for Nishikawa, as he strides to the dish, he is officially 1 for 2. He's got a double and 2 trips. He has also struck out. Some early baseball action from Japan tonight. If you were in North America, we are approaching 2:30 on the East Coast or 11:30 on the West. First pitch breaking ball misses down. The count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. They've not been able to put a crooked number up on the board, have the Buffaloes yet. There's a fastball swung on it. Is chopped right to the first baseman, Yamakawa. He has to jump in the air to catch it, and he brings it down and steps on the base. That's going to go down as a ground out to 3 to end the inning for out number 3. Well, we got 1 run in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. It was the home run by Kirbiashi. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your score as we now move to the top of the 5th inning. It is a 3-0 ball game. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us. As our friend Angel says, this games are crazy. That is for sure. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Stay with us, everybody. It is 3-0 for the Buffaloes.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
That's right, everybody. Got to have an ace in the hole. And who is that ace in the hole for the Hawks? I guess we're going to find out as we are moving to the top of the 5th inning. It is going to be Kondo, Makihara, and Imamiya. And despite how the Buffaloes are enjoying a 3-0 lead at this point and seemingly have had the momentum all in their regards, it sure doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that they're going to be able to do a damage with this. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. Buffaloes need to put up a crooked number or 2 if they really want to stretch it out on the Hawks. Hawks can put up some numbers in a hurry. First pitch to Kondo, breaking ball. Chop foul over on the first base side. Count is 0-1. 58 pitches through the 4 innings for Tajima. As the lefty ready to deliver again to Kondo. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into left field, camping out underneath it, now having to come back in as the left fielder Nishikawa, and Kondo is gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 gone here. It brings up Taisi Makihara. Angel says, who sang that song? That's our one and only Matt Hollis. So the second baseman, Makihara, coming to the plate. He's 1 for 1 tonight, but he was picked off first. The second out of the second inning. Batting from the left side as the lefty Tajima rocks and delivers. Fastball swung on, chopped over to the right side, but just foul. The ball's in 1 strike to Makihara. We got a lot of Hernandez's in the house tonight. Marvin in here. He says he needs 1 more run. And that's sitting to cash. Anybody on base? Nope. You're going to need to get... This is always the moving inning where teams do score a lot of runs in the 5th. Fastball swung on and lifted into the seats. Foul over on the third base side. The count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Tajima nodding in agreement with his sides with Wakatsuki, and he now rocks himself into the windup. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed, and that is going to retire Makihara for the second out of the inning. He's gone for out number 2, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Kenta Imamiya. Marvin says he's got the 3.5 in the first 5. Yeah, we're talking about the game over-under, and we were saying, I think it was 6.5. Somebody chimed in earlier. And that would be in jeopardy, too. Here comes the first pitch to the right-handed hitting Kenta Imamiya. It's a breaking ball missing up and away, and the count is 1-0. Tajima has been very effective in his pitching here tonight. As the lefty delivers again, there's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1 to Imamiya. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, the lefty kicks and fires. There's a slow breaking ball that misses way outside. And the count now goes to 2-1 on Imamiya. Get another breaking ball that misses down. And the count now goes to 3-1. I'd have to go back and look. I don't think he has walked anybody here tonight. Tajima, 2 base hits surrendered, and that's been it. There's a fastball hammered over in that temporary seating area, and the count is full. I saw some of the teams used to give helmets to the people that sit there. Certainly Fukuoka was one of them. And those temporary seating, those would be the people sitting in front of the nets. But on some of the parks, they put nets up in front of that temporary seating now. Fastball swung onto that's lifted foul down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats, and the count remains at 3-2 to Imamiya. Angel says he never thought he'd be putting money on Japanese baseball. Japanese baseball can be quite entertaining late night. There's another breaking ball swung on and hammered foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 3-2. I much prefer the Japanese league to the Korean league. Some people will chime in on the Koreans, and I just think the playing field is a little bit more level in Japan. There are some teams that are pretty good teams in Korea, and then there's some ones that are pretty ugly. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted into deep left field. Moving back onto the warning track with room to make the catch is the left fielder Nishikawa, and that's going to retire Imamiya for the third out of the inning. As they go in order here again, and by my counts here, he has faced the minimum here tonight through the first 5 innings, although they do have a couple of hits. Looks like the night for Ozeki is going to be done. We'll have a pitching change for the Hawks. We'll be back to bring it to you in just a few. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Halfway through this one, the bottom of the 5th is around the corner. We'll be back and give it to you in just a few. Your score, Buffaloes 3, Hawks no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment after this musical timeout. Your score 3-0, and we'll be back in just a few. It is Buffaloes in front.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball. Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change, as it is going to be Shuto Ogata, who is coming on in relief, a right-hander. Will take over for Tomohisa Ozeki. As he is completing his tune-up tosses, we will be ready to get this one back underway in just a couple moments. So Shuto Ogata on in relief, as he will be pitching number 2 used by the Hawks tonight. And he'll be entrusted to face Ryo Oda, Tomoya Mori, and Kai Nakagawa, the heart of the batting order for the Buffaloes here. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Oda. So 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander against the right-hander. Oda's average is at 297. There's a breaking ball missing down. Count goes to 2-0. It's always a problem sometimes when you go to the bullpens, especially when it's not what I consider the front line bullpen arms. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now 2-1 to Oda. And where the ball game could go, especially with Fukuoka, is the game going to go sideways the other way? The Buffalo's going to score some more runs if you're not getting the best bullpen arms out there. I guess we're about to find out. Here's the pitch. That's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-0 Buffalo lead. Everybody who has jumped in here wanting to see if there's going to be the over or the under. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 3-2 to Oda. It's always the fun part of the ball game. Always in the 5th inning. This is where all the action seems to take place. 3-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Oda on strikes. He's gone for out number 1. So 1 in the books, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter in Tomoya Mori. So for Mori, well, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to first and grounded to second in his 2 trips. We were talking about the aggressiveness of Mori. There's lots to swing at the first pitch. There's a breaking ball down. It squirts all the way to the backstop. And up with the right hand goes the third base umpire. Boy, it must be a getaway day for him in a big time. He's 3 for 3 on the appeals. They said that Mori went around. Every time there's a pitch, got to keep running the right hand up, I guess. 0-1 on the way. Fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike. And the count now goes to 0-2 on Mori. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled off into the feet of the hitter. And the count remains at 0-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, the righty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And in the books goes Mori for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to the right fielder and Kai Nakagawa. So 2 quick outs here to start the bottom of the 5th inning. Nakagawa coming to the plate. He is 1 for 1 and an RBI tonight. He's also drawn a walk and scored a run. So he's been involved in 2 of the 3 Buffalo runs at this point. As the right-hander kicks and he delivers, there's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nakagawa. Nakagawa has raised his season average up to 264. As The pitch on the way is a breaking ball missing down and in, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It's one thing I haven't really figured out in the Japanese league is how can somebody be so good one year? There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to get looped just past the bag at second base into center field. It's going to be a base hit as Nakagawa is aboard with a single, and that's going to bring up Bob Seymour to the plate. So Seymour coming to the dish. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown out to center, and he has struck out. Just starting to say, how does somebody have such a good year one year and then their numbers just fall off so drastically? Or maybe they have one good year and then they have a couple of crummy years and they come back and have another good year again. I don't understand how that plays out. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted into the seats. Count is quickly 0-1 to Seymour. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes to Seymour. He bats here with 2 gone and a runner at first. Bottom of the 5th inning. And the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count remains at 0-2. I have to say, Seymour is probably in scoring position here as he steps into the batter's box. Giving the opportunity and the potential chance for him to punch a run across. So here comes the 0-2 offering as the right-hander holds to the set. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that's spiked into the ground. It goes all the way to the backstop. Moving up 90 feet will be Nakagawa on the wild pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Boy, that ball wasn't even close. I'm going to look at that one again. That pitch came down, almost hit Seymour. Wasn't even like Imeno had like 0 chance to be able to block it. It was all the way to the backstop. So we got ourselves a ball and 2 strikes here. As again, the right-hander ready to go back to work as he gets these signed, and now he steps off the backside of the rubber. Just as a reminder, they like to take a 5-minute break in between innings here in the Japanese league, so we like to call it our Japanese halftime. And in saying that, we will take a break as well. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, take it for a called third strike. Seymour stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3. And that is going to do it here in the 5th inning. Well, Ogata comes in and slams the door effectively. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left aboard. We are now moving to the 6th inning. Again, it'll be that Japanese halftime. We'll put the music on loop, and we'll be back. Give you all the action when we return after this. It is 3-0 for the Buffaloes. We'll be back in just a few. Your score as we head to the top of the sixth inning, it is a 3-0 Buffalo lead over the Hawks. We'll be back in just a bit with all the action after this.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have Lira. We have Yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Welcome back, people. It is 71 pitches through 5 innings for Daiki Tajima. He has allowed 2 hits, no walks, and he has struck out 4 so far in his innings of work, as he will be set to face the bottom third of the batting order in Otaki Yamakawa, Tatsuro Yanagamachi, and Takashi Umino. Looking at that out-of-town scoreboard to keep you up to date in the Central League, the Tigers have extended their lead to 2-0 over the Swallows. That's at the Jingu Stadium. In Tokyo, it is a 2-2 ball game between the Bay Stars and the Dragons. That's in the top of the 7th inning. Baluna Dome, it's 3-0 for the Lions over the Fighters. That is in the bottom of the 6th. 3-2 for the Reigns over the Eagles. That is in the 5th inning, and it's 3-0 for the Buffaloes and the Hawks. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Hotake Yamakawa. Yamakawa batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Tajima, who kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Yamakawa, a big fella batting from the right side here. 5 homers and 14 RBIs, but his numbers have slid here through the month of April as the pitch on the way. There's a fastball missing outside. It's now 1-2. But he is ever so dangerous, the right-handed hitting first baseman of the Hawks. Again, Tajima rocking himself slowly into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wonder at what point you got to keep your eyes peeled on Tajima. He's only made 1 start in the last or this month. Since only going 1 inning earlier in the month. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And Yamakawa gone for the first out of the innings. So he's in the books for out number 1. That'll bring Tatsuro Yanagamachi to the plate. By my count, that is strikeout number 5 recorded by Tajima. So that brings the left-handed hitting Yanagamachi to the plate. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to right field in his only trip. As Tajima working from the windup, rocks and delivers. It is a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Fastball just misses off the outside corner, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 on the way. Fastball swung on and it's fouled into the glove of the catcher, Wakatsuki. Count goes to 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is, as again the lefty ready to go. Rocks himself into the windup. There's a pitch. It's down, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Tajima getting himself set. And he rocks himself into the windup, and he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on his grounded foul past the third base coach's box. And the count is 2-2. Pitch on the way, breaking ball, swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Yanagamachi. He's down on strikes for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it up to the catcher and Takashi Amino. I had to get a look at the grip. I didn't know if it was a changeup or if it was a breaking ball. It looked like it was a breaking ball spin. I thought the way Tajima held it, he had almost like a changeup in his hand. I have to get a better view on that moving forward. There's a first pitch. Changeup that misses outside. That was definitely a changeup. So 1 ball and no strikes to Ameno. Ameno is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to third his first time up. As the lefty delivers, it's a fastball swung on. This ball's lined into left field. And this ball is going to get down for a base hit. Over to pick it off is Nishikawa. And Ameno's got himself a 2-out single. And that is going to bring up the top of the order in Yuki Yanagita. Well, for Yanagita, he has been the strikeout victim of Tajima twice tonight, once swinging and once looking, as he strides to the plate here to face the lefty in inning number 6. Two gone here with the runner over at first. And, you know, for as much as the Buffaloes have controlled this game, you got to wonder, or you got to say to yourself, at what point in time are the Hawks going to stick some runs on the board here and get right back in it? There comes the first pitch to Yanagita. It's a fastball that just misses outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Hawks are one swing of the bat away from being right back in it that quick. Again, the lefty working to the belt. Checks the runner, now delivers. Fastball just misses low. Well, a couple innings ago, that pitch wouldn't have been low. It would have been a strike from the home plate umpire. So it kind of makes you wonder if at this point in time, Tajima's getting squeezed a bit. So 2-0 here as the lefty works again to the set. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on it is lifted foul into the seats. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty delivers. It's a fastball missing outside, and the count goes to 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses down and away. That's going to be ball 4. As Yanagita is going to be aboard with a walk, and that's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Buffalo's dugout. So just as we suspected, now you're getting into some tough parts of the batting order. Yukio Shudo coming to the plate, who is 1 for 2 tonight. As the lefty Tajima tells the pitching coach that he is good to go, and they got Ryoya Kurihara on deck. I wonder if this would be the inning where Tajima would probably be finished here. And I can't see Tajima going for another inning after this. And I just say that because of the length of his previous outing and missing some time here. So we'll see what the Buffalo's management have up their sleeves. So 2 gone here in the inning. Runners at first and second, and it is Shudo to the plate. He singled, was in a race in a double play back in the first inning, and he struck out looking in the 4th. As Tajima works himself to the set position. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on and is lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1 to Shudo. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, Tajima getting that sign from his catcher as he nods in agreement. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and in, and the count now goes to 1-1. 91 pitches now for the left-hander. 57 of those for strikes, but now the catcher Wakatsuki has come out and have a word with him. 1 ball and 1 strike it is. You can see he's just kind of losing the command of his pitches. I would have to think that bullpen better get going, because Shudo here, if he gets on, that brings Kurihara to the plate, and they've got all kinds of trouble there. You do not want to face Kurihara with the bases loaded. Buffalo's cruising so far through the first 5 2/3 of the innings. They've hit a little bit of a bump here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, tap foul behind home plate. The count 1-2 to Shudo. If you just joined us, the Buffaloes got a run in the second inning as Nakagawa was brought home on a bases-loaded walk by Watanabe. Oda had doubled to lead off the third. He was brought home on a single by Nakagawa to make the scoreline 2-0, and then it was a Kotaro Kobayashi home run solo shot to make it 3-0. There was a line drive off of the pitcher, and it goes to Kobayashi at short, and he's not going to get anything. So Tajima, line drive bullet off of him. He acknowledges to the dugout that he's all right. We'll have to get a look to see where it actually hit him. So good piece of hitting as he took it right back through the box. It looked like it came off the wrist of the non-throwing hand of the pitcher. So a single for Shudo. That's going to load the bases for Kurihara. As I've been saying, it could be the opportunity right here where this game could get flipped around on its ear. Bases full of Hawks. Kurihara stepping to the plate. He's grounded into a double play, and he has flown out in his 2 trips. As Tajima ready to deliver his 94th pitch of the ball game. As the lefty kicks and fires, fastball misses in the right-handed batter's box, and it's 1-0. Nowhere to put Kurihara. You're going to have to face him. He's got 5 homers and 12 RBIs this year. His average has slipped to 273. Tajima holds to the belt. And here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep center field. This ball could be trouble. Back onto the warning track. And it's off the glove and off the wall of Watanabe. 1 run's in. 2 runs are in. Watanabe's down. 3 runs are in. And here comes the throw to the plate. And then it's going to get cut off. And it deflects over to the catcher. A bases clearing triple off the bat of Kurihara. And just like that, the Hawks have tied the ball game. So Imeno in to score the first run. And the second run was Yanagita, and the third run was Shudo. And here we are, all locked up at 3s. You could just smell it coming. Well, the Buffaloes had a ton of chances in the early going. They stranded 5 runners in the first 2 innings, and they'd stranded 7 runners through 5. Weren't able to get a crooked number, and here we are. The Hawks have just gone crazy here in the 5th with 3. That's going to bring Kensuke Kondo to the plate. And it's going to be the end of the night of Daiki Tajima. Well, Kensuke Kondo coming to the dish, the end of the night for Tajima. And we are going to have to take a little break here, as we will have a pitching change here in inning number 6. Our good friend Steve to keep you entertained. We'll be back in just a few.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you going to throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. Every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. We have Kensuke Kondo slated to come to bat. We have the pitching change, and we're just waiting on confirmation of who that is going to be, as Daiki Tajima's night is over, as he has worked 5 2/3 innings, and so far allowing 3 runs. They are going to a right-hander. It is going to be number 23. This is going to be Kosei Yoshida. So I haven't seen Yoshida in a bit, the 25-year-old, as he is on the mound. He underwent Tommy John surgery and missed all of last season. Yoshida was the number 1 overall pick by the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters a few seasons back, as he was flipped over to the Buffaloes. Yoshida had a big fella, but he had a great career as a high schooler. He is definitely one of the legends of the Koshin Stadium, so a familiar face in these parts. So he will take over here. Our friend R. Ramones says, let's go Hawks. Well, the Hawks are flapping their wings now. A tale of 2 ball games so far. The first 5 innings belonged to the Buffaloes, and the second 4 innings have gone the way of the Hawks to this point. So this brings Kondo to the plate, as the right-hander kicks, and he delivers. It's a fastball missing upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Kondo. As I mentioned, I haven't seen Yoshida after the surgery, so it'll be neat to see what he's responding or responded. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count runs even to 1-1 on Kondo. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Yeah, that's definitely a surgery you don't want to have. Tommy John surgery is certainly a surgery. There are a lot of people in North America. Sometimes you get high schoolers that are undergoing that. There's a breaking ball missing down, and the count goes to 2-1 on Kondo. People putting their careers at risk for the ability to throw as hard as they can. And pitching has become almost in some ways a lost art. It's throwing and throwing harder. Here's the 2-1 pitch. There's a split finger pitch missing down, and the count goes to 3-1 on Kondo. He appealed over to the third base umpire, but they said he didn't go. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Hawks looking to grab the lead here for the first time. 3 balls, 1 strike to Kondo, 2 gone in the inning. The runner at third is Kurihara. Yoshida trying to seal the deal here for the Buffaloes. Be able to get them out of this inning. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. On its way, fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Kondo. You look at the lineup for the Hawks, and the first 5 hitters in the order all batting from the left side. Then you got a couple of righties, a lefty, and a righty. But to have 5 left-handers all in a row, I think that'd be unheard of in Major League Baseball. I don't know, unless you got switch hitters, anybody who would run 5 lefties in a row in a ball game in today's era. So here comes the 3-2 pitch to Kondo as Yoshida kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball missing way upstairs. That's going to be ball 4. So Kondo aboard with a base on balls. That is going to bring Taisi Makihara to the plate with the runners on the corners. So Yoshida trying to get himself out of this jam, or the jam that he's now kind of put himself in, that had been set up by Tajima. as Makihara strides to the plate. This game at one time had a decent pace to it. I was saying earlier in the game that you get into these weekend games, you get into the games that are what I would call the holiday games, and they just seem to drag on a little bit extra longer than most. I guess who cares on a Tuesday night about the outcome of the game? A lot of people are in and out. But when you got holiday the next day or you got time off, there was a first pitch changeup taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Makihara. A pitchfork change from Yoshida, very interesting. So no balls and 1 strike to Makihara as he waits on the pitch here from the right-hander Yoshida. The righty works himself to the belt, and we're ready to go. Here comes the 0-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and in, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So waggling the bat is Makihara as Yoshida leans in, gets the sign, checks the runner over at first. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 1-2 on Makihara. Well, it was interesting. Yoshida reared back and put a little extra on that one. It was a 4-seamer. It started on the inside part and it run a little bit across the inside corner. A little bit of late life there from Yoshida. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm not sure what he's waiting for back here. Now Makihara gets himself reset back in the batter's box. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hawks looking to try to take the lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Buffalo's had a 3-0 lead, and the Hawks have flapped back to tie it up at 3. Again, the right-hander works himself to the belt. Here's the 1-2. And it is a fastball swung on line. Right back to the pitcher, Yoshida. He knocks it down, picks it up, and fires to first. He makes the play that Tajima couldn't make. It's a ground out 1-3 for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here in inning number 5. We got 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. Nope, check that, 3 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we now move to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is the Hawks 3 and the Buffaloes 3. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few after this timeout.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat. That means Wakatsuki, Kobayashi, and Mune to face Shuto Ogata, who is slated to come back out for another inning of work. We're going to get a double check here. It's the triple by Ryoya Kurihara, who has tied the ball game for the Hawks, as we are locked at 3s here. And now the game has gone a little bit sideways as Ogata will come back out for his second inning of work. He had struck out the side, and he had allowed a hit in inning number 5 as the first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. Wakatsuki had squared the bunt as he took that one there for a strike. So no balls and 1 strike. The right-hander delivers a breaking ball, and that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2 to Wakatsuki. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. That is going to retire Wakatsuki for the first out of the inning, and it's now going to bring up the shortstop in Kentaro Kobayashi. Well, Kobayashi strides to the plate. He is officially 1 for 2 today. He's got a home run, and he's also reached on an error. Batting from the right side here, but this is the first time he's had to face Ogata. The first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike, and count is 0-1. Ogata just taking care of everybody himself. 4 strikeouts now for the right-hander. All 4 outs in the game he has been able to record for himself. There is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Kobayashi. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball that's swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the first base line, and the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. That home run is raised Kobayashi's average to 195 on the season. 0-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. He's in the books. That's strikeout number 5 here for Ogata. He's been an absolute machine since entering the ball game, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Yuma Mune. So as I mentioned, it is one to the other. Yuma Mune now coming to the plate. Mune officially 0 for 2 and a walk in this one. Right-hander Ogata kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. Mune batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ogata, who's just been a strike-throwing machine since entering the game. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. By my count, 22 of the 27 pitches have been for strikes so far for Ogata. As the pitch is on the way, fastball swung on and missed. Make that 23 for 28. As Mune's in the books, he has struck out all 6 of the outs that he has recorded here in this one. I'm not sure if they'll bring him back out for another one, but why not? No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. They go in order, do the Buffaloes. Your score, as we're now through 6 complete, it is 3-3, and we'll be back in just a little bit with all the action in just a few. Well, we got a score line of 3-3 as we move to the top of the 7th inning. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the 7th inning. It is going to be Watanabe, Nishikawa, and Oda to come to bat here for the, well, check that. That's going to be for the Buffaloes in the next inning. We've got ourselves a right-hander on the mound for the Buffs, and that is going to be number 21, Sachiro Yamazaki. Coming to bat for the Hawks is going to be Imamiya, Yamakawa, and Yanagamachi. So Ichiro Yamazaki on in relief. The tall, lanky right-hander ready to face the Hawks here in inning number 7. Imamiya tonight 0 for 2. He has popped to first and he has flown to left. As the right-hander Yamazaki kicks and delivers, it's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Hawks sent 8 batters to the plate in inning number 6 as they were able to cash in 3 runs. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes even to 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. On its way, it's a breaking ball swung on, lined into center field for a base hit. A leadoff single here off the bat of Imamiya. And that is going to bring up the first baseman in Hotaka Yamakawa. So Yamakawa striding to the plate. He is officially 0 for 2 in this one. He has struck out and grounded out. Don't think we'll ever see the big fella bunt. I'd be shocked if it ever happened. He is there to put the ball in the seats. So Ichiro Yamazaki working himself to the belt. The first pitch on the way is a splitter that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yamakawa. Yamakawa's average is slipped below the Mendoza line. He's batting $198 on the year. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. So a ball and a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander kicks and fires. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. One thing I'd say when watching Yamakawa hit right now, he's obviously not in good form, but he's also, what I would use is maybe confused at the plate. Does not look like he is comfortable at this point. As the 1-2 on the way, it is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Yamakawa waits here on the offering from the right-hander. And he steps off the back of the rubber and feigns the throw over to first base. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains. And again, the right-hander working himself into the set. Here's the pitch. It's a split finger pitch swung on and tapped foul behind home plate. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes it is. Just looking at Yamakawa, Looks like he was guessing on that pitch. They get an overhead view. He starts with an open stance, but he really flies himself open as well. It's like he's trying to get something that he can really jack to the pull side. Two's on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded to the left side of the infield, fielded by the shortstop. They go to second for one, back to first. Not going to be in time. Did they get the runner at second? Have to see if that ended up being a fielder's choice, because that was well deep into the 6 hole. Yeah, they are going to erase Emamiya. He's gone 6-4 for out number 1. They're going to have. I don't think they're going to have a look at that. Yamakau, who's safe on the back end on the fielder's choice, looks like they're going to have a runner for him. So his day is going to be done. It looks like it is going to be Isami Nomura. I wonder if Yamakawa hurt himself coming down the line there. It was a split finger pitch that he'd swung on. He'd rolled it over to the shortstop. Boy, I was really close at second. And he was safe on the back end, but I guess we'll have to keep an eye on the lineup over the next day or two if he still stays in the ballgame. Well, we're going to have a conference on the mound here, as the Buffaloes are going to have a chat, as the pitching coach Kishida is out to have a word with Yamazaki. So Tetsuro Yanagamachi slated to come to the plate. He is officially 0 for 2. He has flown to right and he has struck out. And that looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Yamazaki. So the Buffaloes are going to their bullpen. They made a decision, and that is the end of the night for Soichiro Yamazaki. I wonder if there's something wrong with them. I don't think they're going to get a pitching change for the injury. So very, very interesting. His day is done. It looks like it is going to be Sasagawa who will come to hit for Yanagamachi, as he's moved into the on-deck circle. We'll have to wait here as we do have ourselves a pitching change. Well, hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Looks like we have a pinch hitter, and we got a stoppage in the play, and we'll resume here in just a couple moments. Your score is Hawks 3, Buffaloes 3. We're in the top of the 7th inning. We'll be back in just a little bit right after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Nobuyoshi Yamada who is coming out of the bullpen. The lefty is just completing his tune-up tosses. Sami Nomura has come in to run for Hotake Yamakawa over at first base. And it does look like we do have a pinch hitter, as it is going to be number 44, Yoshiyasu Sasagawa. So he is going to be coming in to hit for Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So we got changes all over the place. We saw a lot of Sasagawa in the exhibition season, and he looked pretty good. He was playing for the Hawks early on. He got a lot of opportunity when some of the World Baseball Classic players were away. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Sasagawa. So he gets his opportunity here. Game is sort of into the deep water, as we would like to call it. We are now in the 7th inning, back third of the ball game. As the lefty again leans in. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. lefty works himself into the set position. And here comes the 1-1. Instead, they throw over to first base, and diving back is the runner, Nomura. Curious to see if they keep Nomura in at first base or if they're just going to use him in this spot here or if they're going to move him around the infield. He has played second and short. Would they maybe consider moving Makihara over to first? Here comes the 1-1 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on, grounded down the right field line into the corner. Rounding second, heading to third is Nomura, sliding into the right field corner, but he's going to come all the way around to score. It's going to be a double off the bat of Sasagawa. He's going to get an RBI, and the Hawks now have taken the lead 4-3 as Nomura has come around to score all the way from first base. So high fives all the way around in this one here. So as Sami Nomura does his job, and that is going to bring up the catcher and Takeshi Umeno. And for Umeno tonight, he is 1 for 2. He's got a single and he has scored a run. So if you just joined us, the Hawks have taken the lead now 4-3. It looked like it was the Buffaloes cruising. The Hawks have had some smelling salts probably there in about the halftime, or we like to call our Japanese halftime, as they do an inside move and they chase the runner back to second base. So interesting that Asami Nomura, it looks like he is going to come into the ballgame. The question will be where. As the left-hander holds himself to the set position. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Umeno. So no balls and 1 strike. Lefty kicks and delivers again. Fastball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Umeno. As this game is just, I got to tell you, 12:30 Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. We are 2.5 hours into it. It is just a grinding halt. And they throw over to second base as they try to pick off the runner, Sasagawa, at second, and he almost threw it into center field. Did the reliever Yamada. Game here is just the tempo and the pace that Tajima had through the first 6 innings. He was moving along pretty good. All of a sudden, the Buffaloes have gone to their bullpen, and it reminds me of the Hanshin Tigers circa 3 years ago. When the Tiger bullpen would come in, and you could pretty much bank on the game just grinding right to a halt. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He squares the bunt, and he gets it down on the third baseline, and it's just going to roll foul. Oh, nice job there by Umeno to try to bunt his way on, but that's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes now to him. It was the right idea. He really didn't show any sign. There was, obviously for sacrifices, you'll see they'll square early. But he was looking to try to bunt himself on with a base hit. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. So 1-2 it is here as the right-handed hitting Umeno waits here on the offering. And the pitch on the way. Fastball misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the left-hander leaning in, and he works himself into the set position. As the pitch on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side, giving chase is Wakatsuki, but it's going to drift its way into the seats. And it keeps the count at 2-2 to Ameno. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So left-hander against the right-hander. As the lefty works himself into the set position. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and in. And the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to the catcher, Ameno. As the lefty works himself into the set position. And now he's ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, hammered into left field. This ball, if it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And it's just going to hook foul down the left field line. Oh, Ameno took it for a ride. The outfield for the Buffaloes playing in shallow because they're trying to throw Sasagawa out at the plate. That ball would have stayed fair. It would have been very, very difficult to have thrown that runner out. So 4-3, it still remains here, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ameno. So we'll do the full count pitch all over again as the lefty works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on this one, lifted down the right field line. So he's going line to line here, is Ameno. So 8 pitches in this at bat for the Hawks catcher. As the crowd is cheering on the visitors in the visiting section. And now we step off the backside of the rubber. Again, just this whole half inning here has been with the pitching change, both of the pitchers really working slowly. The game has lost all its tempo and pace. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. On its way. Fastball swung on, line to the shortstop, and retreating back to second is Sasagawa as he reeks it back safely. That is going to bring up the top of the order in Yuki Yanagita. While we're lamenting about that, let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Games are all pretty close to being finals in the Central. It is 2-0 in the bottom of the 9th inning. The game at the Jingu between the Tigers and the Swallows. Tigers in the lead. 4-2 Bay Stars have the lead top of the 9th inning over the Dragons. That's in the Vantolin Dome. 3-0 Lions over the Fighters, top of the 9th inning. That game is in the, obviously, top of the 9th. And then 5-3 Marines over Eagles, top of the 7th. So the Eagles in this game here are the ones that are laggard. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Moving underneath it is Nishikawa. He's going to be there to make the catch, and that's going to retire Yanagita for the 3rd out of the inning. That'll do it mercifully here for the Hawks, or at least for the Buffaloes. 1 run for the Hawks in their inning on the benefit of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is a 4-3 game. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is the 7th inning here, and it is a pitching change for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. They're turning it to number 68. It's a Karo Kimura. And he will take over here for Shuto Ogata, who is absolutely lights out, getting all 6 of the outs via a strikeout. So he is on in relief. There's a bunch of changes around the field as well. We'll have to get that caught up as we see where the changes are. It looks like Kurihara is over at first, Amura over at third, and Sasagawa has gone into right, but we'll have to confirm that. First pitch fastball misses up and away. Count is 1-0 to Watanabe. So Kimura on in relief. There is a fastball that just misses for a ball, and the count is now 2-0. Watanabe today has singled, he's walked, he's bounced into a fielder's choice, and he has driven in a run. Batting from the left side here, he couldn't come up with that ball that cleared the bases for a triple as he slammed into the wall in center field trying to make the catch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. He has made some nice defensive plays in the ball game tonight, but unfortunately couldn't come up with that one there. There's a fastball lifted down the left field line. It's slicing, giving chase, and watching it sail into the seats is the left fielder Kondo. Run the count even to 2-2 on Watanabe. So here comes the 2-2 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. Fastball taken for a called third strike, and Watanabe's gone for the first out of the inning. So by my counts, the last 7 outs have all come via strikeouts. So 6 for Shuto, and now 1 here for Kimura. Or Shuto Ogata, I should say. So Ogata at 6 and Kimura 1. That's 7 in a row via the strikeout. Be interested to see what the most consecutive strikeouts in a game would be, whether combined or individual. There is a breaking ball that the home plate umpire said that Nishikawa went around on, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the left-hander. He delivers. There's a fastball swung on and it's fouled off right into the catcher. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works again to the set. Now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and lifted into the seats. Foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 0-2 to Nishikawa. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the right-hander ready to go. And he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses way upstairs. Count now to 1-2 on Nishikawa. And the right-hander delivers. There's a fastball swung on and it's lifted foul into the seats. Count goes to 1-2. Pitch swung on, grounded over to second, bobbled at first by Makihara. Now he throws to first. It's going to get Nishikawa on a ground out 4-3. He's gone for the second out of the inning. And that is going to leave it all up to Ryo Oda. And so for Oda, he comes to the plate. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a double in 3 trips. He's also lined out and struck out. He has scored 1 of the 3 runs for the Buffaloes. As the right-hander holds to the set, now he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Oda. So no balls and 1 strike. And the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side, and the count now goes to 0-2. I was thinking about Major League Baseball, and I was thinking about the managers being fired in the mid-season. There's been a couple of firings here. Of course, Cora getting fired by the Red Sox, and then Rob Thompson fired by the Phillies. Fastball swung on and lifted foul, and the count remains. No balls and 2 strikes to Oda. So 0-2 it rains here to Oda. 2 gone in the 7th as the right-hander Kamara ready to go again. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count goes to 1-2. And not only did they fire Thompson, but they tried to hire Alex Cora to the Phillies. And they made Don Mattingly the interim manager. Fastball misses down. Count goes to 2-2. Kind of too bad for Rob Thompson. Got off to a slow start to the Phillies. A lot of expectations there, but kind of makes you wonder if the injuries didn't play a part with the Phillies and their staff. There was a fastball swung on, and it's line foul down the right field line. Count remains at 2-2. I mean, they released Taijuan Walker, I think it was this week, who was supposed to be one of their better arms. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I was thinking about, obviously, the manager is being fired, but 2-2 pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. I wonder how much the players would have had to do with that as well. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Oda. Only once tonight have the Buffaloes gone down in order, and that was in the last inning when Ogata had struck out the side. Here's the 2-2. Fastball misses upstairs, is now 3-2 to Oda. As for the Hawks, well, 3 innings they went down conventionally 1-2-3. There were 2 innings that they were 1-2-3, but they had to get a little help, double play and a pickoff. As the 3-2 pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into right field, moving over underneath it and making the catch is the right fielder Sasagawa, and that's going to do it. Well, there's another 1-2-3 inning for you, and the Buffaloes have taken it on the chin here. We are now through 7 complete. It is 4-3 for the Hawks. We're moving to the top of the 8th inning. It'll be Shuto, Kurihara, and Kondo to come to bat. We'll be back in just a few to bring it for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Appreciate you for hanging with us. Right back after this. Your score is 4-3 for the Hawks, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action. It is the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is a 4-3 game for Fukuoka when we return right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. It's Naruki Teranishi who is going to be taking over here for the Buffaloes, as he will be, again, his first inning of work. The small right-hander coming in here, as he will be facing Shudo, Kurihara, and Kondo. We will be ready to resume the action in this one. One player curious about Daisuke Yamaoka, not on any of the rosters. I wonder what happened with him. The one-time Buffalo was accused of doing some online gambling, as the pitch is on the way. It's a fastball that misses down. The count is 1-0 to Shudo. Shudo has 2 hits in his 3 trips to the plate tonight. He has also scored a run and struck out looking. As the right-hander double clutches, kicks, and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is grounded fair down the left field line. It's going to be extra bases. Shudo digging around first, heading for second. The ball gets away in the left fielder, and Shudo rounds third, but now they're going to fire it back in. He's going to slam on the brakes with a double. So Shudo for sure now getting it going this season. He's aboard with a leadoff double. That's going to bring up Ryoya Kurihara. So the Hawks are looking to add to their lead here. Kurihara, who has been the major provider of the offense, a 3-run triple in the 6th. As Kurihara strides to the plate. One for 3 tonight, raising his season average to 280. 5 homers and 15 runs batted in now. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. For those of you who just joined us, it was all Buffaloes in the first 5 innings, and since then it has been all Hawks. So the right-hander working to the set. He checks the runner Shudo at second. Now delivers fastball center cut for a called strike. And the count runs even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Keeping our eyes on the ball games around the NPB. And it does look like we have a couple of finals now. As the right-hander checks the runner at second, now delivers. It's a fastball missing up and away. Tigers 2-0 final over the Swallows. That game is completed. 3-0 Lions beat the Fighters. That game is over at the Balluna Dome. 4-2 for the Bay Stars over the Dragons. That's in the bottom of the 9th inning. 5-3, top of the 8th for the Marines over the Eagles. Here's the pitch. 2-1 on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats. Count now goes to 2-2 on Kurihara. That is all we can give you right now across the NPB. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander working himself into the set position. Checks the runner at second. Checks him again. Now delivers. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kurihara. So again, the right-hander ready to go as he checks the runner over at second. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. On its way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third baseline. Count remains at 2-2. It's actually a split-finger pitch that kind of hung up in the zone from the right-hander. It was a fastball, but did not exactly have a lot of depth to the pitch. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buffalo's looking to stave off the Hawks here. As they try to sneak in behind Shudo with the daylight play, and it just doesn't work. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it remains. And the right-hander ready to go again. He works himself to the belt. He checks the runner Shudo at second. Checks him again. Now the 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and that's going to retire Kurihara for the first out of the inning. So 1 in the books, and that is going to bring up the left fielder in Kensuke Kondo. So a big strikeout there by the reliever Teranishi. 5 pitchers used by the Buffaloes in this one, 3 by the Hawks. The starter, Ozeki, got chased after 4 innings. Okada came in and steadied the ship, striking out, getting all 6 of the outs that he got via the strikeout. So here comes the offering to Kensuke Kondo. He kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, chopped over to the right side. It's going to bound foul just past the first base coach's box. So no balls and 1 strike. So no balls and 1 strike it is. Again, the right-hander checking the runner at second. Shudo gets his secondary lead now as the pitch misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Teranishi. As we said, the 5th pitcher used tonight by the Buffaloes in this one. He followed Tajima Yoshida, Yamazaki Yamada, a bunch of Ys in the middle, as he's trying to keep this one close. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Kicks and fires. Fastball misses way upstairs. Count now goes to 2-1. So 2-1 to Kondo. And the right-hander ready to go once again. We will put up our schedule in the next couple of days. We've got some games that we'd like to call over the next little bit. Certainly this weekend here coming up, and certainly next week. Busy week on the channel. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner for called strike. Count now 2-2 to Kondo. Kondo took a knee on that one. Lots of action all around the NPB. And we'll be there to bring you a lot of it this year, as we have already. We're pushing the 40 game mark. I think our goal is to do 150 this year. We're around 40. So we'll see how the rest of the games will shape up. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count remains at 2s to Kondo. But I know this, we're not going to be on the airwaves tomorrow. But we will look ahead here for you and give you an idea of what is going to be coming up. Sometimes we look at the pitching matchups to see what they have, and sometimes not so much. There's a slew of games on Saturday and Sunday, North American time, as well as they've got the holiday on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, where we will be able to call games in the NPB. So hopefully you can get us there for the early ones. That splitter is swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Lots of weather in the forecast for Sunday and Monday in Japan, so we'll probably try to stay in a dome if we possibly can. As the 2-2 pitch is ready to come here to Kondo. And the pitch on the way, fastball swung on and missed, and that's going to retire Kondo. He's down on strikes for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the second baseman, Taisi Makihara. So for Makihara, he is 1 for 3. He's got a single in 3 trips. He's struck out and he's grounded out. So 1 for 3 it is. As he steps up here, he has yanked his batting average up to 275. No homers and 5 runs batted in. Again, the right-hander holds to the set. He checks the runner, checks him again. Now he delivers. It's a split finger pitch swung on. It is lifted into straightaway center field. It's driving Watanabe back. He's at the edge of the warning track, and he makes the catch. And that is going to do it, as Makihara is going to be gone for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs in the inning. They strand the leadoff double by Shudo. 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We're now moving to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It looks like another pitching change here for the Hawks. We'll get that for you when we come back in just a few. Your score is the Hawks 4 and the Buffaloes 3. Bottom of the 8th inning is just around the corner. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. The one-time closer of the Hawks is coming on for some 8th inning duty. That is going to be Roberto Osuna. So we haven't seen Osuna pitch in a while. It'll be interesting to see what he has. He had struggled in the exhibition season, and there was talk about him possibly being traded. If that was going to be the case, the Hawks would have had to pick up a significant share of his contract. So in this regard, good to see that he is back on the mound in a late inning situation with a lead, but not in a closing role at the moment. So Osuna ready to take over here. He's going to be facing Mori Nakagawa and Bob Seymour. Tough part of the batting order. So Tomoya Mori stepping to the plate 0 for 3 tonight. He's grounded out twice and struck out. As the right-hander Osuna delivers a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander against the left-hander as the pitcher Osuna kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander kicks and he fires. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. Ryan, that final closer, 780, says, yep, that's the Osuna that is closed for the Blue Jays and for the Houston Astros. As he is on in relief here. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. He was pretty much lights out in his first couple of seasons in the NPB. He had pitched with the Chibalote Marines at a pretty microscopic ERA. In fact, in my opinion, it was basically a man among boys. But they started to get to him last year and figured out he's maybe lost a step in his own game. 2-2 on the way. Fastball swung on, pop foul into the seats over on the third base side. Count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yep, it's the rise and fall of certain players. At least his fall wasn't as bad as Yasiel Puig's. Yasiel Puig is signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs of the Inter-County League. Playing in Ontario, there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the third base line. Count remains at 2-2. Ryan says he was the only pitcher that he saw hit the catcher's mitt every time when he was on. Yeah, he had some pretty good stuff. 2-2 on the way. It's a changeup missing upstairs. Count now goes to 3-2. Yeah, as I said, when he first came to the NPB, he was just so dominant, and it was a man among boys. But he has lost a step probably here in the last 12 to 14 months. Fastball swung on it is lifted foul down the left field line, giving chase is Kurihara, but he's going to watch it slice into the seats, and that's going to keep the count full to Mori. This is turning into a heck of an at-bat for Mori. This is going to be the 9th pitch coming up. Our Ramon says, does the NPB have a salary cap? No, they don't. But there are certain teams that can spend more than others. I don't like the salary cap, to be honest. If you're going to have something, why don't you do some revenue or some expense sharing? Fastball swung on line into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Sasagawa. He's going to fire it back in, and Mori's aboard with a long single. But the owners would never want that. That's going to be the end of the night for Mori, as he's going to get pinch run for here. Looks like they are going to bring in Yusuke Mugatani. So he is going to come in to run. I haven't seen Mugatani in a while. Yusuke Mugatani will replace Mori, and this is also going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. Interesting here. As it brings Kai Nakagawa to the plate, they also have the interpreter out there with them as well. Talking about the salary cap. No salary cap in the NPB, but some teams have more money than others. Teams that have money to spend are the Hawks, the Bay Stars, Giants. I think the Fighters will probably be in that mode too with that new stadium that they have. And, now that they don't have to pay for the build of the stadium, or not much more anyway, start reinvesting in the players with the profits that they are making. This brings Nakagawa to the plate, who's 2 for 2 tonight. He's also drawn a walk and driven in a run. As we do have, as he steps out and looks at the third base coach. He throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner, Mugatani. Boy, it was a close throw over at first. As the pitch is a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Nakagawa. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander works himself to the set. Suna checks the runner. He throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner, Mugatani. What point in time are we going to start to, well, maybe not Nakagawa, definitely not Seymour, but getting into a situation where we might see somebody drop a bunt? I wouldn't even put it by Nakagawa doing it here. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And no side of it, but it's a fastball that moves him off the plate, and the count runs to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. If you just joined us, it's been a tale of 2 halves of this game. Buffaloes with 3 runs in the first 5 innings, and it's been all Hawks since. They are enjoying a 4-3 lead. Here comes a pitch from Osuna. They fake like they're going to run. And it's lifted into left field, giving chase, and that ball's going to get down. Racing around second and heading to third and sliding in safely at third is Mugatani. Over at second is Nakagawa with a double. You're going to have to wipe the blood off of that one. So now they've got runners at second and third to the Buffaloes. And Osuna's got himself in a heap of trouble. That's going to bring Bob Seymour to the plate. I don't know if it was 6.5 or 7.5 on the over-under earlier on. Here we are teetering that number. So for those of you who have jumped in, thank you for doing so here tonight. So Osuna's got himself in a real pickle. Just going back and taking a look at what Osuna has done to this point. As the pitch on the way is a splitter that swung on and missed. Counts quickly 0-1 to Seymour. Osuna, this is his 3rd appearance of the year. And he has really struggled at this point. He's pitched 2 innings, actually 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Fastball swung on it. It's going to be grounded past the diving Taisi Makihara. That's going to get 1 in. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's going to get 2 in. And it's going to be an RBI 2-run single off the bat of Bob Seymour. And the Buffaloes have retaken the lead here. And the scoreline is now 5-4. So the American first baseman delivers. That'll get a monkey off your back. It'll get the fans on your side. It was a high fastball up in the zone, right up around the eyeballs. He was able to stay inside and hit it past the diving second baseman. Yeah, so Seymour a little bit pumped up here. We've got runner at first with nobody gone. That's going to bring Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate. That's going to be the end of the night for Seymour. Yeah, ERA north of 9. It's going to be pretty close now. Pinch runner for Seymour is number 61 for the Buffaloes. And we have to take a look to see who 61 is. We don't see it on our scorecard. Oh, there it is. It's Shota Hiranuma. So he is in the run. Wakatsuki is squaring the bunt. No shock there. There's a pitch that misses for a ball, and the count is 1-0. I think the biggest thing probably for Osuna is maybe you got to get in to see the head doctor. I think there's something wrong mentally with him with regards to him being able to throw strikes and to be consistent. 1-0 on the way. Again, Wakatsuki squares the bunt. He pops it straight up behind the plate. And there to make the catch is Imeno, so a wasted opportunity. Wakatsuki's gone for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Kotaro Kobayashi. Our friend Ryan says after he beat up his girlfriend, he kind of went loony. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe sometimes that gives the guys an adrenaline rush. I think about some of the NFL players that do that stuff and they just go off the deep end. And they do it while they're at the top of their game. It's unbelievable. First pitch breaking ball misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. I don't advocate that by any stretch, but it just makes you wonder. Guys at the top of their game they think they're untouchable. So Buffaloes have regained the lead here, 5-4, bottom of the 8th inning. Pitch to Kirbiashi, fastball swung on and missed, and the count runs even to 1-1. Kirbiashi overmatched right now here. So Kirbiashi taps both sides of the plate, waiting here on the offering from the right-hander, who kicks and fires. Fastball swung on, grounded to short. They go to second for one, back to first. That's going to be an inning-ending double play. It's going to go on the books as a 6-4-3 variety, and that will do it here for the Buffaloes. But the Buffaloes do some damage in the inning. There was 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was nobody left aboard. Your scores, we move to the top of the 9th. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks trailing the Orix Buffaloes 5-4. Stick around, everybody. We are in the deepest part of the waters. We'll be back here in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. The 9th inning is just around the corner. Welcome back, everybody. Andres Machado coming in to pitch for the Buffaloes here. He is going to be the 6th pitcher used. So we're going to see how this shapes up. So he is taking over. We do have a couple of changes defensively for the Buffaloes. We'll have to try to get that caught up for you as soon as available. Looks like there's been some movement around and about. It is supposed to be Kenta Imamiya to lead it off, and that's exactly who it will be. As the first pitch to Imamiya is on the way, it's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Imamiya 1 for 3 tonight. It'll be Nomura and Sasagawa slated to follow. Hawks looking to get a run to tie it up to send it to the bottom half of number 9. Fastball swung on. This is lifted down the right field line, drifting over, and with room to make the catch in foul territory is the right fielder. It looks like that is one of the substitutions. Looks like it is Ryoto Kita. Yes, Kita has made the grab for out number 1 Imamiya in the books. That is going to bring up Sami Nomura to the plate. So Machado with 2 pitches and 1 out. He is giving the Buffaloes everything the Hawks wanted from Roberto Osuna. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. This is Nomura's first at bat. He came on to pinch run for Hidaka Yamakawa in inning number 7. So here comes the 0-1 offering to Nomura. Fastball comes up and in and backs Nomura off the plate. The count is 1-1. That was a little bit of chin music there from Andres Machado, World Baseball Classic champion. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Hawks need a base runner here in the worst way. 2-1 coming from Machado. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. When this one is over, we'll give you the full roundup of this one and the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we'll call it a night. We still got another couple outs to go here as they are down to the last couple of outs to go. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And now the Hawks are down to their final out as they are 2 away here in the 9th inning. As that is going to bring up Sasagawa to the plate. So for Yoshiyasu Sasagawa, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He doubled and drove in a run his last time up. It was the go-ahead run at the time, as he had come on for Tatsuro Yanagamachi. So the pitch coming to Sasagawa is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Hawks down to their final out. As the right-hander Machado looks to try to seal the deal. Here comes the 0-1. Right-hander holds himself to the set. Now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And now the Hawks are down to their final strike. No balls and 2 strikes it is to Sasagawa. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander again works to the set. And here comes the 0-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses outside. It goes to 1-2 on Sasagawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. A little bit of noise there off of the microphone as we unfortunately hit it. Sorry if that was in your ears. Here's the 1-2. Fastball misses outside. Count goes to 2-2 on Sasagawa. On deck, it is slated to be the catcher Imino. One would have to think that we'd probably see a pinch hitter for him if he was to come to bat. Here comes the 2-2 pitch as Machado kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, popped up. It's foul. It's going to reach the seats behind home plate. Ryan says, thanks for the play-by-play tonight. Well, we appreciate you stopping in. I don't know if this is one of my finer performances. We finally been able to shake the sore throat that we've had, or the congestion we had in the last couple of weeks. As the 2-2 on the way, fastball swung on, lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble, but no, moving in front of the warning track. Oh, and they almost collide, but it is going to be Watanabe who makes the catch. Kita made it exciting as they almost collided together in front of the warning track. That is going to do it here in this one tonight. They go in order in the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Hawks. Your final score was the Buffaloes 5 and the Hawks 4. Oh, man. Stick around. We'll be back in just a couple of moments to wrap this one up for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back in just a bit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a final score of 5-4 for the Buffaloes. Well, it was an interesting game for sure. The scoring got going in the second inning. Leadoff walk to Kai Nakagawa, and after a flyout by Bob Seymour, Kenya Wakatsuki singled. Kotaro Kobayashi reached on an error by the third baseman, Ryoya Kurihara, and then Hataro Watanabe walked with the bases loaded to bring home the first run of the ballgame. In the second inning, the Buffaloes added to the lead, a leadoff double by Ryo Oda, and then it was an RBI single off the bat of Kai Nakagawa with one out that brought him home to increase the scoreline to 2-0. In the bottom of the fourth inning, with one out, it was Kotaro Kobayashi stepping to the dish, and he deposited his fourth homer of the year, made the scoreline 3-0 at that point for the Buffaloes. Well, the Hawks came back. Hawks in the sixth inning scored 3 runs. It was everything came actually with 2 out. And it was interesting. It was a single by Umino, a walk to Yanagita, and a single by Shudo, and up stepped Kurihara, and he cleared the bases with a triple. That tied the ball game at 3. Hawks went ahead in the seventh, a leadoff single by Imamiya, but he was erased on a fielder's choice. Nomura ran, and it was a RBI double off the bat of Sasagawa that brought home Nomura that gave the Hawks a 4-3 lead. And then the Buffaloes, well, they were able to get a pair of runs in the bottom half of the eighth to be able to give them the victory. A single by Mori. He was run for by Mugatani, and then a double by Nakagawa, and up stepped Bob Seymour, and he hit a single that brought home both Mugatani and Nakagawa to give the victory to the Buffaloes 5-4. All right, everybody, that's your final scores, or that's your final here, scores from around the NPB, as we have other games that are over. 2-0, the Tigers beat the Swallows. 4-2 for the Bay Stars, final over the Dragons. Those games are done. The other games that are over in the Pacific, 3-0 for the Lions over the Fighters, and 5-3 for the Marines over the Eagles. In about 32 minutes, it'll be the Giants and the Carp that will get going at the Tokyo Dome. All right, everybody. Once again, appreciate you guys for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Samurai Prayer, Ryan, everybody else who made it in tonight. All the Hernandezes that stopped by. We appreciate you guys. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again a little bit later in the week.